What's up guys? So in this video I'm gonna talk to you about general store versus a niche store, and this is a very common question that people have in the e-commerce space. Very frequent question that I get in my mastermind group, on inbox, and the coaching students. People ask if they should start a general e-commerce store or a niche e-commerce store. So pretty much, what is the difference first? Let's talk about this, and let's dive into the pros and cons. So pretty much, a niche store is a store where it's mostly focused on one topic. Let's say cats, a store about cats. It can be the cathub.com or something like that. And in that store, you would only sell things about cats, right? So if you sold something about dogs in that store, it wouldn't make much sense, right? Because the name of the store and the logo and the cover photo and the fan page and everything is related to cats. So in that case, it wouldn't make sense to sell things in other niches. But the good thing about a niche store, like this example that I told you about cats, is that it tends to become a very passionate audience. You tend to build a brand that's very passionate, including your fan page, right? Because since it's only focused on one topic, it kind of gets like more authority, or like kind of like authority, and people like to buy from places that are related in the topic that they like. So a cat lover would much likely go and buy from a store that is only focused on cats, that from a store who sells absolutely everything, right? Trinkets, pillowcases, phone cases, different topics. So it tends to become a more passionate store, a more passionate circle. Now the con of that, right? One of the disadvantages of that store is that, like the name says it, is that you cannot be promoting different niches in there because it's only related to one niche. So let's say you want to expand to another niche, right? So maybe the grandma niche or the dog niche or other niches that are out there that are just massive. You wouldn't be able to sell them in that store. I mean, it's possible to get the sale, but it wouldn't make much sense to start selling things about other topics in that store, because you would kind of ruin the idea of it becoming a niche store, right? Now, I have a niche store where I've sold different kinds of products, different niches, just to test it out, and it does sell, right? So it does sell in a niche store. You can sell other niches, so it's possible. The thing is that the customers kind of get mixed up after the sale appears. You would have to segment your list into different segments to be able to send products to different audiences. So I mean, if you have an email list that's only about cats, right, but you send them an email about dogs, about products about dogs, let's say a dog collar or something, the chances of them buying is way lower because they're interested in cats, not dogs. So after the sale happens, you kind of mix up your data, you kind of mix up your emails. That can be worked out. But what I'm telling you is that it doesn't make much sense to have a store about cats and sell stuff about dogs, right? So that's one of the reasons. And now let's talk a little bit about the general store. A general store is just like a small Amazon. Have you seen that store called wish.com? That's pretty much a general store. They sell absolutely anything, ranging from grandma products to fishing products to t-shirts, to absolutely anything. They sell it on wish.com. That's kind of the idea of you having a Shopify store that's a general store, where you can sell absolutely anything and you're not limited and you're not only stuck to one niche. Now the problem with the general store is that it's not really a passionate place where people hang out, right? It doesn't have that sense of a community, kind of like that interaction that you get with a niche store. And definitely in a general store, you will have to segment your emails, your customers, all your data, to be able to send emails to each specific segment, so that it actually makes sense, right? Because if you send an email about fishing products and you have a huge audience that's related into dogs, cats, soccer, all of these different stuff, and you send them something about fishing, it's gonna be like, what the hell, right? They won't even open your email. And you can get sales. I know people that have a general stores, they have a massive email lists. They do make money from the emails, but it does take way more emails, more leads to generate sales, because you're not giving them what they want. So that's something you have to do. You have to segment your list. So that's pretty much a general store. It opens the possibilities for you to start selling different types of products through Facebook advertisement, and that's really important, actually. Now, in regards to should you start with a niche store or a general store, I suggest you start with a general store. Here's the thing. You might be very passionate about cats and you love cats and that's your passion. You want to create a store about cats, right? If you're using Facebook advertisement, it kind of doesn't work that way, because most of the sales, most of the traction you start getting in the beginning with your e-commerce store, with your e-commerce business, is due to the Facebook pixel, right? When you have a new Facebook pixel, I'm gonna go cover that, the Facebook pixel, in another video more in depth, but pretty much the Facebook pixel is like the brain of the Facebook ad account, right? So once you start getting many sales, many visitors to your store, you start getting many conversions in your website, your Facebook pixel, which is linked to your store, starts becoming very smart. And your Facebook pixel starts helping you get sales, starts helping you get results, more money. So it makes your ads better and eventually you start making way more money. Now, when you have a new account, when you have a new store, and you are only stuck to one niche, what if that niche doesn't really start making sales on your new account? Maybe you just tried all of the different interests, all of the different products, that niche is competitive, and you simply can't crack the code on that account because you don't have the leverage of the data of the Facebook pixel. I mean, your Facebook pixel is not helping you get sales in that niche because it still doesn't have a lot of data. It's very new, right? So in that case, you would be like, man, I have this store, I simply cannot get traction, I've tried it all, and I don't know what to do. So that's why I suggest you start with a general store, right? Because if you love a niche, right, you can still do it. You can still do it in the future, but first you want to start building up your Facebook pixel data, and the fastest way to do that is by testing different niches, different products. You only have to test one product and start getting momentum to be able to sell absolutely anything, because the more data you have, the more Facebook is going to help you get results within other niches as well, right? So the data that you get Facebook is not necessarily only for that niche, right? So if, let's say, if you sold 1,000 cat products, right? So it doesn't mean that your pixel will only work for cats. That data might help you out to test things on other niches, and you might still be able to get sales on other niches with that same data. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So when you start out and you want to make your life easier, you want to start building an e-commerce business that pretty much gives you the freedom to travel around the world, to start making money, I would suggest you start with a general store. Yes, you can sell your niche products on that store. You can focus only on cats if that's what you want, but you also have the possibility to focus on other niches that might work very well for you. And let's say that you got a niche working, you got the hunting niche working on your general store now, and you're making a lot of money, you're making a lot of sales in that hunting niche. Now what you can do is you can open a niche store that's focusing only on that hunting niche. And there's a way that you can get the hunting data from the Facebook pixel into another one so that you can use that one for your new store, for your niche store. So in a brief overview, guys, what I'm suggesting is that you start with a general store, makes your life easier, opens the possibilities to anything, build up your pixel data, and once you figure it out, once you're making consistent money, consistent sales, you can open a niche store that's focused on that niche that you are making the most sales in, or that niche that you're passionate about, that's working. And yeah, I think that's the best order to do it. So guys, don't think about it. I've tried it over and over again. If you are new to this space and you're new to Facebook ads, start with a general, move on to a niche. Don't do it the other way around, because you will feel limited, and eventually you will end up moving to a general store to start testing other niches and other types of products. So guys, that's it for today. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, or share, guys. I would definitely appreciate that. I will see your engagement in there, and I will see you in the next one.